Hi, everyone. This week is the 31st week in Ordinary Time. Ordinary Time is green because we are growing in our understanding of Jesus and his teachings. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus was going through Jericho where a man named Zacchaeus lived. He was in charge of collecting taxes and was very rich. Jesus was heading his way, and Zacchaeus wanted to see what he was like. But Zacchaeus was a short man and could not see over the crowd, so he ran ahead and climbed up a sycamore tree. When Jesus got there, he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, hurry down! I want to stay with you today." Zacchaeus hurried down and gladly welcomed Jesus. Everyone who saw this started grumbling. "This man Zacchaeus is a sinner, and Jesus is going home to eat with him?" Later that day, Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "I will give half of my property to the poor, and I will now pay back 4 times as much to everyone I have ever cheated." Jesus said to Zacchaeus, "Today you and your family have been saved, because you are a true son of Abraham. The Son of Man came to look for and to save people who are lost." The Gospel of the Lord. In last week's Gospel, we heard about the tax collector who prayed to God how sorry he was. He was sorry for cheating people by collecting money and taking money for himself. In this week's Gospel, we hear of another tax collector named Zacchaeus. Just like last week's tax collector, no one liked Zacchaeus. Jesus was coming down the street and there was a big crowd around him. Zacchaeus wanted to see him, but he was short and couldn't see over the crowd. He climbed into a tree to see Jesus. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine wanting so badly to see Jesus that you would climb into a tree? Jesus saw him and asked him to come down, and then he wanted to come to his house. The people around him were really shocked and maybe even mad. Why would Jesus want to go to Zacchaeus' house when nobody liked him? Later, when Jesus was at Zacchaeus' house, Zacchaeus stood up and told Jesus he would give half of what he owed to the poor and give back 4 times as much as he had cheated anyone. As it turns out, there was a good person inside of Zacchaeus that Jesus could see when no one else could see. Jesus told Zacchaeus that he was a true son of Abraham, which means truly someone to carry on Abraham's mission to bring God to the whole world. He also said he came to look for and save people who are lost. Zacchaeus wasn't a bad person, he was just lost. Jesus found him and saved him. What does this story tell us about ourselves? Even as bad as we may be, Jesus knows we're just lost. Jesus sees the good person inside and helps us to turn around and do good things. What does this story tell us about others? We may see someone that no one likes, but Jesus still likes them and sees the good in them. Imagine someone you really don't like. Now, imagine Jesus meeting that person for dinner, and afterwards, you see that they are now acting like the good person they have always been now that they aren't lost. Would you climb a tree to see Jesus? What would happen after that between you and Jesus?